छाया दीदी अभी आप स्टार्ट कीजिए।
Okay. Good afternoon, dear friends, and warm welcome to this spiritual, beautiful journey on the channel Gyan Mitra. I heartily welcome all of you to this beautiful journey. And before I begin with today's session, I would really express my gratitude to Brahm Shri Patriji, with whose divine blessings and encouragement we are on this path of spiritualism and enlightenment. So, definitely, I would like to express my heartiest gratitude to Vaniji and Ashadi, who have provided me this wonderful opportunity where I can share certain words of wisdom with you, because daily on this channel at this time, we always listen to the words of great masters, which the words which definitely change our lives. So, dear friends, once again, I heartily welcome all of you. So we all are here on this earth for a specific purpose, and that purpose is given by, designed by divine, and we all have great responsibility to fulfill that goal, because that is not some personal goal related to our growth, that is related to the beautification of an entire universe. So, dear friends, though we all are on this path and we are doing meditation, we are reading books, many things we are doing, but sometimes there are certain things which pull us down, that create barriers. We cannot reach where we wish to. And one of the greatest blocks I'm talking about today is that when we are not able to live in present, because all spiritual masters, all great masters of past, and are all PSSM masters, they give a great weightage to living in past. That is the key to great bliss. So, but sometimes we fail to do so. So today I am going to talk something about my own experiences, which help me out to come to break the shackles of past and all the shackles of future. So dear friends, today we would learn something, that how we can live in the present. Though majority things I am just talking about my own experience, but in addition to it, I got a chance to read a wonderful book on the power of now. So that was by Eckhart Tolle, an amazing book that every person, every master should read, because it tells us a scientific way, a very simple recipe, that how by living in the present moment consciousness, how we can connect ourselves with the present, because past is dead and future is uncertain, and only we have our present, and we can explore the beauty of present. On the very onset, I would like to begin with the personal experience of the writer, who today is a great, one of the greatest spiritual masters across the world, and who has transformed millions of lives. He says that when I was near about 30 years old, then definitely I was facing pains, problems, challenges, and it felt that life was hell, and I was just dragging life. Then he said, one day I was sitting on my bed and I was questioning myself, and definitely he said that at that one moment there was one voice that came into, that emerged from my being, and that voice was resist nothing. So he says that one voice, resist nothing, that completely transformed my life. So, what was that thing that resist nothing? He said that all of a sudden I felt that I was full of peace. All the loads of pressures, problems, undue worries, concerns, tensions, that flew like a bird from my mind, because I could feel that I was in complete present moment consciousness. I feel that there was no past, there was no future, and a stage of bliss, happiness started. Though he says that at that time he didn't know what happened to him, but later on he could explore it, he could know it, because he was not on the path of spiritualism at that time. But later on he deduced that what was it. It was that when he was able to, in 1 second, because enlightenment is not that we, it takes so many years, but sometimes when one moment comes, the actual moment when you are into your pure consciousness, then enlightenment takes place. So dear friend, he shares his experience with the readers that definitely changed his life, and that can change our life, and that undoubtedly has changed my life also. Because personally talking, I was a person who was always involved in certain things related either to past or to future, as usually we all do. And that marks the beauty of life, and that creates a hindrance in the path of our progress towards spiritualism, towards enlightenment. So now today I would share certain things, that what are the blocks that don't permit us to enjoy the present time. Though it's very simple to say, it is said that easier said than done. Okay, so it is very easy to say live in present. I used to listen it, everybody used to say that live in present. What is meaning by living in present? So does it mean that we should not have a single thought about our future, or we should not have any single thought about past? So, though with the passage of time, with meditation, with reading books, and with, we can say, by getting wisdom from many masters, I practiced it. And with the passage of time, I could implement this thing, that now majority of my time is invested in connection with the present. Now, any of the apprehension of the future, they do not come across my way, and whatever happened in the past, that don't flash across the screen of mind. So dear friend, I would just, before I begin with, I would share a simple story, a simple incident. There was once a beggar, and who has been begging for last 30 years, and his father also been doing the same, and his grandfather also has been doing the same for so many years. And one day a passerby asked the beggar for a change, and beggar said, I don't have a change. Then he said, okay, you have a box with you, you just try to find out what is in the box. And he said, no, I have never opened this box, it is locked, and I just used to keep certain things on it, I have never opened it. He said, okay, at least you try it, what is in it? So when he insisted, that passerby insisted, then definitely that beggar, he just broke it, because he didn't have the key. He just broke it, and when he opened it, it was full of gold, full of gold coins. So this is something that happens with us. We all have seeds of, all have gold coins of enlightenment with us. Only the thing is knowing, only the thing is realization, only the thing is implementation. So as the beggar did never bother that what he had with him for such a long time and how it can enrich his life, in the same way we never bother that what do we have inside us, and how by utilizing that gold coins of our pure consciousness, how can we enrich our lives? Why? Because we are victim of our mind. Yes, dear friends, first of all, I tell you the first obstacle that does not permit us to enjoy our present. So I think there is no debate about it, that if we talk about majority of the people, if we watch our thought process since morning till night, and if we are honest with ourselves, then definitely 80% thoughts, my dear friends, 80% thoughts are either related to past or it is related to future. Hardly 10 to 20% matter is related to our present, and rather in reality it should be the vice versa. 20% maybe think of past or future, to take certain lessons, to revise certain lessons, or to plan something, but we live in either past or we live in future. So the first obstacle I'm going to talk about is our mind. So our mind is the greatest devil, though it is also the greatest friend also if we can tame it. But if we see that this mind has the negative capacities that we are using in day-to-day routine, that mind divides, it discriminates, it categorizes the things, it categorizes the people, it categorizes the events, and it gives you the judgment, it compares, it reflects. And since morning till night, what we do is that our mind is dominating us, and every time whatever happens with us, whether today, whether yesterday, we are judging those things, we are comparing those things, we are evaluating these things. So this is the first thing. Very cautiously you just observe it, that your thought, what does your thought process contain? If we are honest with ourselves, then definitely we will find that this mind is misleading us, this mind is making us busy with all the unnecessary things. In the same way as science has blessed us with all the modern gadgets to facilitate our lives, whether it is mobile, internet, and everything on our tables. But what is happening in reality is that this technology has enslaved us. We have to enslave it, we have to use it for our benefit, but it is using us, misusing us every time we are in the grip of technology. So in the same way, mind was given to us by Almighty in order to do certain necessary functions of our life, because life is not only about emotions, not about only instincts, not only about mind, not only about soul, it is the mixture of all. But our entire time just goes waste in all the intricate patterns created by mind. So identification with our mind makes our thoughts compulsive. So when we are not able to make ourselves loose from the grip of that complicated thought process, sometimes you see, you observe that how one thought crops up, it may be a very lightly negative. When that negative thought crops up, you never know that how you get entangled in the web of negative thoughts. And this is called the compulsive thinking process, and it is a negative process. Fine. So this thing, we have to be vigilant by remaining in the present moment consciousness. You have to be vigilant that what is my mind creating? Why it is said that meditation is such a miracle that increases the gap between thinking, because that when we do meditation, or we just remain in the present moment consciousness, then we get hold of our mind, then we enslave our mind. Clear? So that is the time when mind thinks according to us. It is not a compulsive thinking, it is a productive thinking. Because when mind stops chattering for some time, at that time we connect with our pure consciousness. At that time we connect with ourselves, with our divine qualities. Otherwise we are working like a machine, we are thinking like a machine. So dear friends, honestly speaking, I was a person who was versed in overthinking. I think I can say very honestly that I was a person with great amount of overthinking. Every time my mind was occupied in thinking unnecessary things. And today, when I got relieved of all those compulsive thinkings that were controlling me, I know that how peaceful I am feeling it. And if we learn this art of controlling our mind, we should know that where to use the mind and in what manner we should do the thinking. So in this way, we can create the gaps between thinking, and that gap is beautiful. That gap is that connects you with your peace, that connects you with your present moment. So as see, some people say that we keep on thinking because thinking gives us solutions. Yes, let me give you some very solid example. As the dogs, they keep on chewing the bones. Okay, that is their favorite activity. In the same way, mind's activity is to keep on thinking, thinking, thinking. To keep the way dog is chewing bone, so mind keeps on chewing the problems. Understand it. Mind keeps on chewing the problem with no solutions, with no alternatives. And you will be surprised to know that all the solutions come into a peaceful moment when thinking stops. All sort of research in our world, all sort of discoveries have always been done in the moment of silence, when there is moment of silence, when mind it happens that okay, scientists are working, keep on working, and all of a sudden when they leave all the things, they are sitting on their sofa, they are lying silently on their butt, suddenly one solution, one idea crops up in their mind. So creative ideas, creative solutions of life never occur when your mind keeps on chattering. So this is a misconception that mind gives you solutions. Clear? So we have to go into a no mind state. No mind state comes with the meditation. More you meditate, more you come into the no mind state. Because it is not that only when you are meditating, then you can be in the no mind state. You are doing any sort of activity, you are walking, you are cooking in your kitchen, you are watering the flowers. At that time, when you shift your entire consciousness to what you are doing, you can feel everything you are doing. Then that is the no mind time. That is the no mind space, where flower of bliss, flower of peace, flower of happiness, they just bloom in a very good manner. So dear friends, first we all know meditation is the most effective manner in order to increase the no mind state, so that we can realize our peace, because that is the time when we are cut off from the world, when we are cut off from all sort of criticism or complaints, comparisons that are just creating a noise, creating any sort of disturbance in our mind. So this is, we can say, the number one thing which I shared with you is that mind is the barrier, and we have to be in the no mind state. And how can you do it? By becoming, remaining present in the activities what you are doing. You have to do it with the practice. Lot of practice is required in daily life. We come back into the activity, all of a sudden unconsciously, then we again are drifted away. We go back to that chain of thought. Then we have to bring back to our that activity. We have to be, our heart and soul has to be completely into it. I would like to share my one of experience that once this thing happened with me, that when even I was in school, I wasn't able to perform certain duties in a good manner, even when I was at home. Then all of a sudden, I came across some of the video by Osho. So in that video, I have just, as I got wonderful solution by Osho, he told just one thing, that the main reason of your anxiety, your tensions, your problems is that when you are not able to handle the day-to-day activities, is that you are not completely present in that activity. So when you are into some activity, when you are school, you have to be fully into in that. Whatsoever is waiting for you. Suppose you have 10 things waiting at home, or when you are at home, 10 things are waiting at your school. No, don't think about those 10 things. You be into the one thing that you have in hand, and definitely that will increase your productivity, that will increase your confidence, and that will increase your life energies in a very positive manner. And definitely, if you have become successful in one thing at school or home, then definitely the other 10 things that are waiting for you, that will be done in a very wonderful manner. So this is the secret that I have learned from Osho, and I have followed it in my life. And definitely there is a great change that how I give my heart and soul to the thing what I am doing. Okay. Second is that self false ego. Somewhere we all have created our false egos. Egos means that we have projected big pictures of ourselves, that these are the things, that these are the we can say awards, these are the appreciations that I deserve. I do things in this way, people should reciprocate in such manner to me. We have made so many self projections about that. And then what happens, that rather enjoying our present moment, we keep on waiting for certain approvals from other people. Okay, suppose I think very high of myself, then definitely if I'm going somewhere, then definitely I would be thinking that that person should reciprocate in this manner. So what basically I am doing, that I am giving too much importance to myself. I am anticipating some sort of behaviors from the people. Fine. So that is what spoils my peace, because when I'm projecting such sort of false image of myself, then definitely it is not that all the people they will act according to my anticipation, my hopes. They may have their own designs of life. They may not even appreciate something good in me, but that should not disturb me. So this is the thing. Then first, before going to that person's place, I just kept on thinking that okay, I go there and this would happen. So first of all, I spoiled my present by thinking about the future. Unluckily, things didn't turn out in the way I thought to be. And then what happened, when I came back home, then definitely I kept on thinking what happened there, and I kept on giving judgments. I kept on bickering. I kept on saying negative things. My internal dialogue is completely negative. So in this way, I just spoiled my present. I just we can say that I just got clung with the past and the future. So, dear friends, we need to be very, very, very simple about ourselves. Let we not keep on waiting for certain approvals from the world. Let we not get waiting for certain of the value judgments, because it is we who have given the scale to the people. We always wait that yes, we must be appreciated. See, if we do something good, first of all, the clear indicator is our own heart. It tells this you have good. So please don't keep on waiting for these approvals and appreciations from the world outside. And next thing, which is the great block in present, is that our high level anticipations. I don't say that we should not have ambitions in our life. Definitely we need to chalk out certain ambitions, certain plans for our bright future. But when we feel that if I reach to this level, then definitely I'll be happy. That will be the moment that would bless me with happiness and peace. And luckily we reach that point, but after that what happens is that we feel thoda sa aur, then we say okay, thoda sa aur. So that little bit more keeps us moving, and keeps us waiting for the pleasure that actually does never happen. So today I was sharing with one of my friends that I started my job with 2500 rupees in 2000, I think 2001. So at that time I was thinking, okay, to 2500 it would be better if I get 5000. And then I thought, oh, let it be 10,000, it would sound better. So then I thought, oh, let it be 15,000, 20,000, 25, 30. So that digit with the passage of years keeps on increasing. Today I think, oh, it should be beginning with 5, digit 5, and then it would be wonderful. So this is a simple example, and it happens with our life that we feel that if we reach this destination, that will give us success, that will give us happiness. Dear friends, please bear in your mind that journey in itself is a destination. How are you feeling while moving towards on that journey? That is your reward, because nothing is final in this world. No destination is ever final in this world. So enjoy whatever you are, wherever you are going, whatever you are doing. So those small steps are your real happiness, your real success. Please don't delay your happiness by just putting a signal that yes, if I reach here, that will be the moment that will give me peace, that will give me happiness. So in small measures, I have read a poem long back, a lily flower and a oak tree. So the crux of that poem is that lily flower just lives for few days, and oak tree, it lives for thousands of years. But lily flowers life is more significant, beautiful than that tree, because it gives uh, one sort of we can say beauty to all of us. So it is not that it lives for only few days and that life is meaningless. So what I want to say is that in small measures, whatever we are doing, everything is significant in our life. So don't wait for any of the big achievements in your life, because in that only you keep on postponing, procrastinating your happiness in the future. So learn to enjoy each and every moment in the present time. So next thing, that is the barrier, dear friends, that is our past. As I told you in the very beginning, that if we minutely observe the content of our thinking process, then you would get to know that either past or future. These are the two material of our thinking process, and majority is our past. Because whatever happened in the past, that does never go out of our mind. Although we say, okay, I have forgotten it, but when something happens, then again we discuss it. If we are discussing it again, what happened, it means it has never gone out of your mind. Please remember it, because whatever has been obliterated from our mind, it cannot be discussed, mentioned again. And those things, those, because we all know that our soul is like a CD, and it contains all the past life karmas. Okay, and it contains all the emotions, whether positive or negative, all things in that CD. And when that CD gets operated, we never know which sort of emotion it gets, it starts functioning in our life. Fine. So first of all, with meditation, we come to know that what sort of past life karmas are stored in my memory, in my soul. And then definitely you can start working on those past life karmas, because certain karmas are very active and certain are very dormant. Dormant means that they are there deeply engrossed in your personality. uh, that negative karma may not function very openly, but when something related to that karma or that emotion happens in your life, and that becomes a trigger, and again you start behaving in that negative ferocious manner. So that dormant emotion is really very destructive for our life. So through meditation, we need to dive deep into ourselves, and we need to dig out that what is negative that has been lying for so many years in my soul, and that has been uh, spoiling my peace, my happiness. So that thing you should do. See, whatever, we all, first of all, we need to remember one thing in our life, that there is no person in this world with whom nothing wrong has been ever happened. There is no person in this world who has never faced any storm of life. There is no person in life who may be right, but wrong must have not been happened with him. So we are not exceptional cases. Certain things happen with everybody in the world. So then why we keep on making a mountain out of molehill? So sometimes I wonder that we love to share our problems with other people. Though the people who just come on this path, they learn, they become enlightened, they don't do it. But I'm talking about the general people. 70 to 80%, we love to, we retrieve some sort of pleasure in sharing our problems. We love to say that yes, we are in pain, this wrong thing has happened me, and we afraid to say that I am happy. We can't dare to say that I am a happy soul. Dear friends, you should dare to say that I am a happy soul, rather declaring the world that we are in a victim mode, because we always keep ourselves in a victim mode. We say this happened with me, that person has done this thing with me. You keep on repeating what is repeated again and again. It becomes permanent in our life. Okay, when you keep discussing one thing in your life again and again, definitely it is really really permanent. Sometimes even some people, they say that I can never forget this thing. She or he has done this thing to me, and I'm not never going to forget. Dear friends, when we say this, it means you are declaring that I will never permit myself to come out from the clutches of that ugly past. So, what are you doing to yourself when you are declaring something very dangerous for you? You are telling that I will remain in that clutter of the past. So please never utter these words consciously or unconsciously, that I will never forget, I can never forget, because this is some of the favorite dialogue of majority of the people. Let bygones be bygones, because whatever has happened, it cannot be undone. What is done, it cannot be undone. So we learn certain lessons from our bitter experiences and we move ahead in life. That is the beauty of life. So dear friends, please. And the second obstacle with the past is that when we have such sort of bitter experiences, we are not ready to forgive. So here the remedy is, if forgiveness, if we want to get out ourselves from the clutter of past, definitely we need to forgive. So why forgive? It is not for the another person to whom we are forgiving, it is for our soul. Because once the moment we forgive, what happens? We reclaim our power from our mind. So we have earlier, when we were criticizing that person for giving us pain, so that mind was telling you don't forgive, because that person has given you pain. Your mind was giving you direction, your mind was behaving logically. But when you forgive, then you are taking power back from brain. Then your mind is not working, because you have taken that power from mind which was misguiding you not to forgive. Clear? So forgiveness is very important, because it is not you have to do it for others. Forgiveness is just for ourselves, for making our soul lighter. Because ultimately, when we will be leaving this world, we have to be careful that now, till now, we were not aware, and unconsciously we were collecting all sort of negative karmas, emotions in our cd of our soul. But now when we got conscious, then definitely our job is to shut out, remove all, delete all negative patterns of behavior, delete all negative emotions. And when we leave this world, then definitely our cd should be full of only positive, peaceful karmas, peaceful emotions. So this is important for us, not for others. So if you forgive anybody, we are not making any sort of, we can say that we are not doing it for others, we are doing it for ourselves. So next thing the mind does wrong is that every time we are in the attack or defensive mode, whatever happens, you see it, watch it very clearly, that many a times our thinking process involves the attack or defense mechanism. We, because we live in the world where situations takes place that are unfavorable, and majority of the time we keep on thinking that yes, I am right, my behavior is justified. Why? Due to these reasons, and I will justify myself with these reasons. That is your defense mechanism. And when you keep on thinking, no, that person was wrong because he did this, I can prove him that your behavior, his or her behavior was wrong. So that is attack mechanism. So every time our mind is involved in both the processes, defense mechanism or attack mechanism. So in this situation, what is the solution? So we need to feel that what is the urgency of proving anybody right or wrong, proving yourself right and proving others wrong. Why we cannot let the things happen without any result? Why always judgments? Why always we have to prove that I am right? Why is the need? Dear friends, there is no need to prove, because there is no end to these sort of justification. Because today something happened, my logical mind will give me the power to prove myself right. Okay, wonderful, it happened, I became victorious today, but tomorrow something would happen, day after tomorrow something happen, and in this way we have given the mind the great power, okay, that you can control me. Then the beauty and bliss of present is always gone, because you're not aware what you are doing. Yesterday I was teaching my class 11 student, and I was talking one vlog, the writer was going. So I was sharing with the student that when we are on a journey, anywhere we are going, then many of the time when we are sitting inside our cars and we miss out the outside beauty, because our mind is that we have to reach that destination. Clear? Our mind is in the future that we have to reach Dalhousie. Okay, so then we will be awakened. At that time, we will be active. In the meantime, when we are on the journey, let anything happen, let any beautiful scene pass, let anything greatly significant pass. That is not our concern. Why? Because mind says destination is far away. Okay, so you just rest down. This is the thing, that when we are moving on life, we are missing out many beauties of our life, because our mind has taken control of us. So dear friends, we, through meditation and through present moment conscious, we need to domesticate our mind. We need to tame it. Tame it means that we need to use it for the productive outcome. We have to be careful. We this, please make it a habit to ask certain questions to yourself daily. You ask yourself that what is going inside my mind, what is the quality of my thought process, and you feel the energy of emotion, what sort of emotions you are feeling, and see the quality of thoughts. All these two three things you have to do daily. Why? Because whatever thought does is clearly reflected by emotions. So these two things are very very important to watch daily, your thought and your emotions. Because sometimes your logical mind can befool you. Your logical mind can say, no, whatever I am thinking, that is right, that is logical, that is justified. Don't doubt my intention. Your mind can say it, but your emotion is a very, very innocent child who will always speak truth. Your emotions will tell you that what is the quality of your thought. Because if your thoughts are negative, if your thoughts are not productive, you cannot have peaceful emotions. So in order to check the veracity of your thoughts, then you check your emotions, because only peaceful thoughts can produce peaceful emotions. So this is the way that you need to feel, that if you are thinking something, what is the outcome? Are you feeling happy? Because if you are feeling something, that person has done wrong with me, I'm not going to spare that person. So at that time, can you be in a very loving emotion, in peaceful emotion? No, not at all. So dear friend, the next thing that you must do is to remain in present, is to check the level of your thoughts and to check the type of your emotion, because emotions never tell a lie. So this is very, very important. So next is, because I wish to share with you is that we always keep on seeking pleasure from the outer world. There's some difference between the pleasure and the joy. If we wish to take joy, joy can only be found within. Fine. And pleasure is always in the outer world. Pleasure is in the persons, pleasures in is in the things, pleasure is in the situations of life. But the bliss, the joy, that is always find inside. And when we are always clung to past, when we are always clung to future, then we don't get time to go inside where the reservoir of this bliss is lying. So that's why, if we want the perennial happiness, because sometimes what happens in the intense moments of exhaustion, when we are greatly completely tired, or we are greatly sad, or we are in the state of a trauma, at that time our mind is completely silent. We are in a no mind state, because it does not think anything. So at that time, or even in the moment of intense pain, when we are in the moments of intense pain, at that time we must have realized that we have plunged into a deeper silence. So that deeper silence is so beautiful. That's why in many of the religions, or in many of the spiritual paths, it has been told that sufferings are essential to dive deep into your real self. Because when you are into pain, I always say that when you are always in pain, congratulate yourself. Don't be sad, because that is the time when the button of your mind is off, and now you can have a time to dive deep, and you can connect with your pure consciousness. And then you will realize, definitely I am not mind, I am not body, I am not emotion, I am a soul who has been on a journey for so many years of life. So, whatever petty things happen in my life, they have nothing to do with my peace of mind. They cannot spoil my peace of mind. So, dear friends, try to have no mind time in your life, and even if happens through pain, welcome it. So, the next thing that I wish to share with you is that why we cannot experience happiness and bliss in present is that we lack the quality of surrender. Yes, dear friends, this quality is really miraculous. So when I was reading this book, I read very good in conversation between the author and the readers. So there one person said, what do you mean by surrender? What is the meaning of surrender? It means that whatever happens, we say, okay, we are perfectly happy with it, whether it is right or whether it is wrong. Surrender means it is to give up. So, no, dear friends, surrender does not mean that you should give up, or it is not something that you are depending upon your fate. No, surrender is something, we can say, it is something that is a very creative solution of your life. So it is the spirit, because when you surrender to the situations of life or to the Almighty, then spiritual energy starts functioning into your life. It is not surrender. does not mean that you raise your hands in front of those situations, those people who are misusing you or who are sapping your energy. No. See, I will just explain with it one example. Suppose we have a clash or very unpleasant situation with our dear loved ones. Fine, it happens. We all are human beings. It happens with our lives as well. So at that time, what happens? We are always in a race to prove self are right or other wrong, and we just keep on, making a pile of allegations to that person. Clear? So surrender means to accept that okay, some wrong has been happened, some wrong has taken place. Okay, perfectly, I was wrong, that person might be wrong. Okay, to accept that yes, wrong has been happened, and at this moment the best point is that I need to be silent. I need to ponder over, I need to go inside. So that your that differences, that clashes should not turn out to be very disastrous. Because when you give that gap for some time to that situation, in that gap you get the wisdom, you get the energy to deal with that situation in a very very intelligent, wise and peaceful manner. So surrender does not mean that okay, whatever has wrong happened, we say okay, it has happened, let it happen. Okay, it means that giving time, accepting it. Because as long whatever you resist, please make it very clear, whatever you resist in your life, that persist in your life. Because in the beginning I told you that there was an inner voice from author's heart soul that was resist nothing. Because whatever we resist, that persist. So if there is bitterness in our relationships, first we have to accept it. Okay, yes, there is bitterness. Because that acceptance, it fills us with the spiritual energy to settle down the situations of life. So this is called the surrender. It is the wisdom of yielding to the flow of life. So if you cannot surrender, then definitely only solution is that you can either take an action to improve that situation. But my dear friends, many a times in that situation is so tense that we are not able to behave in a very intelligent manner, and situations go for the worst. Fine. So the last I would discuss is to get rid ourselves of our pain bodies. As I told you in the middle, that we have accumulated our past pains, and we have to work out on all the past pains. Because until and unless we make ourselves free from the past pains, then definitely we cannot progress towards the destination of our enlightenment, or we cannot enjoy the path of enlightenment. So dear friends, do your best, read good books and do more meditation and practice present moment consciousness in order to get rid of the past pain bodies that you cannot see but that are just behaving in an unconscious manner. And next thing, future I always say one thing, that hope for the best and be prepared for the worst. Fine. So this is the best fundamental for future, that whatever happens in the future, if till now, whenever you are apprehensive about future, just remind yourself that till now so many problems, so many trials and tribulations have taken place in your life. Okay, and what those trials tribulation did to your life, did they efface you, did they break you down forever that you could never get up? No. Those problems made you more bold, they make you more strong. So when any sort of apprehension strikes your mind, just remind yourself that you are stronger than any sort of apprehension in the world. And most important thing is that when we connect with our inner light, we know that we are the light. We have immense light to dispel any sort of darkness, any sort of gloom in our world. So dear friends, in this way, more we live in the present moment, because this present moment, because even the daily basis, if you start practicing this, that even for 10 minutes, even for 5 minutes, you are in complete present, whatever you are doing, you will feel that you don't have any burden. You are a very free bird, your soul is very lighter. So please stop worrying about future and don't discuss the past. Past is dead. It is dead, completely dead. So now we are on a beautiful journey of our life and enjoy each and every moment with full of acceptance. So surrender, I said, it comes with the acceptance. Accept as the flow of life. So as the things come to you, as the situations come to you, just see them, be an observer, don't get entangled into that cobweb. Just see the situation, be an observer in the present, that why this situation has come to me, why this person has done, what is lesson for me. When you just get out all these things, then definitely you can live in your present. So dear friends, I think I could do justice with this topic, that how living in the present, the moment, the power of now, how it makes us enlightened, the way it enlightened the author, and the way it made my life happier, more peaceful and more productive. And I hope you will always be discovering the power of now. And now let me move on the journey of meditation, where we will be connecting with ourselves and we will feel how this present is so beautiful, so loving. So now all of us, let we start meditation for 10 minutes. So I request everybody to just close your eyes gently and to cross your hands and legs. So I'm going to start the music, and for 10 minutes we are just going to feel the present moment. So, dear friends, let me move on the path of beautiful explorations. Past is dead. Future is a myth. For years, I was feeling so heavy with the burden of past happenings and future projections, which never permitted me to interact, to enjoy with my beautiful companion that is now, that is present moment. Today I have thrown all the stones, heavy stones, that were a burden on my soul, that were creating obstruction on the path of self realization. My mind, my heart, my soul is free from all sort of burdens. Today I forgive each and everybody who must have given me pain consciously or unconsciously. I have no grudge. I have no ill will for anybody. Even I ask for forgiveness from all those souls whom I have hurt knowingly or unknowingly. My heart is bubbling with love, with peace, happiness. I am love. I am light, light of love, light of wisdom. My divine is always with me, like a father, like a mother. He holds my hand through difficult moments of my life. Then why to worry about? There is nothing to be worried about. Every pleasant or unpleasant experience is just a lesson. lesson to learn, lesson to grow. My problems are not problems, they are just lessons. The lessons my soul has come on this earth to learn. I express my gratitude to all persons, to all events, though pleasant or unpleasant. Everything that comes across my path is a lesson. Much time has been wasted by past or future fears. Now onwards, I am going to enjoy, I'm going to acknowledge each and every present moment. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now slowly, slowly, you keep your palms on your eyes, and as soon as you feel comfortable, you just open your eyes. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, thank you, dear friends, for being with me and making this today's journey so beautiful. So, I'm quite hopeful that all of you must have taken some points of wisdom that you will apply in your life, and definitely we all shall make more efforts to do justice to our this human life by always remaining lovable, peaceful, happy, and motivating others to live happy. So that is the main purpose of our life, to share happiness and share motivation, meditation with all. So thank you, love you all, God bless you. Thank you, thank you.